let's see. Recording in progress, yes. And I want to get more volume here. Okay, I think I'm ready. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha-Krsna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Mancha Kalpatarumyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Angaji. Recording in progress. Okay. The question remains, do we have a channel for Russian translation? And maybe before that is a question, where is our host? I don't see our host. And where?
Here, Guru Maharaj, the Spanish translation is there, only the
Russian we're looking for.
Sure, I will assign it now.
And who's translating Spanish? Is it Taitesha or is it Manibanda? I don't see Manibanda there.
Taitesha Prabhu is translating.
Taitesha. Joy. No, he's shaking his head no. Translators strike. Interpreter. Actually, they usually say for live translation, they call it interpreting. Well, I'm just going to kind of get started, I think, with our song for the day. If I can find it there. Song for the day and song for 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Srila Narottama Das Thakur sang Haha Prabhu Lokanatha Rakho Paradvandve Kripa Drishte Chaho Jodi Hoya Anande. Oh, Lokanatha Goswami, oh my master, please place me at your lotus feet. If you are pleased with me, please place your merciful glance upon me. And so this song is about Narottama addressing Lokanatha Goswami, whom he took shelter of and who initially did not accept him as a disciple. The story is, I was just reading, he said, sorry, I'm not taking any disciples. And then Narottama would just, anyway, he would serve Lokanatha, and specifically he would do very menial service. He would clean the place where Lokanatha Goswami would pass stool, as we say. And Lokanatha came to notice this and said, and decided, oh, he's serious. He's really serious. Okay. And then he accepted him. I think that's the story. Here, Narottama in verse 4 gives his special qualification for mercy is that there's no one else in the world who is as much in need of mercy as he is. 5, although he spends all his days and nights glorifying the transcendental pastimes and virtues of Sri Sri Radha-Krsna, Narottama Das knows that his desire to attain their association cannot be fulfilled without your mercy. So he recognizes and acknowledges and affirms the need of the grace of the devotee of the Lord, the Guru. Right, that was 2 weeks ago. Now, again, or continuing, he's addressing Lokanatha. He says, Lokanatha, Prabhu Tumi, Doya, Koro more. This is song number 6, Lalasa, from Prarthana. Lokanatha, Prabhu Tumi, Doya, Koro more. Rādhā-Krishna chorane, yeno, sadā, citta, sphure. O Lokanatha, O my master, please be merciful to me and bless me that Sri Sri Radha-Krishna's lotus feet may be always manifest within my mind. So sadā, of course, means always. Citta can be consciousness or mind or heart. And sphure has the sense, I believe, of touching, but in any case, here manifest. Yeno sadā. Then verse 2, tomāra sahite thāki, sakhīra sahite, to vāsanā mora, sadā utte cite. I wish to have your association when you manifest your form as gopi friend of the divine couple. Oh, that's interesting. This desire continually arises in my mind. So, in other songs, Narottama Das Thakura has been anticipating himself being a gopi friend of the divine couple, and now he's anticipating his guru, Lokanatha Goswami, manifesting his form as a gopi friend. And he's saying, I want to be there when you manifest. I want to have your association like that. Now I have your association as, you could say, the external form, but I want to be there. I want to associate with your internal form.
Me quiero asociar con la forma interna.
Ah, we have Spanish translation. Now we just need to make it so we don't all hear it. Yeah?
Tenemos que hacer muchos.
You may have to make some adjustment.
The interpreter changed from the Krishna Kshetra Swami, so we translate according to that information in the chat.
Whatever is being said is so muffled, I don't hear it, but maybe, was that everything okay? Let's
Yes, Katyayani Mataji is translating into Spanish instead of Detya Prabhu.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna, Katyayani. Buenos días. Okay. Then verse number 3. Sakhīgan jeshta jenho tahar chorone more shamar pibe kobe shevar karone. O Master, when by your mercy will I be allowed to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, the best of all gopis? So here, Sakhīgan is the assembly of the Sakhis. And Jeshta means, I think it means elder or senior, I guess, here. So it's referring to Radharani. Jeno tahar charane. To her lotus feet, tahar charane, more samar pibe. Samarpana, yeah. Samarpana means worship, offering, service, I guess. And then the question word, kabe. Samar pibe kabe sevar karane. So in the regarding the cause, karana, of service, when will I be able to serve completely? All right. Tabe, number 4, tabe she hoyibe morban citta purana anande se bibo donhar jugala charana. If you will fulfill my desire, then I will be able to blissfully serve the lotus feet of the divine couple. Tabe, then, in that case, she hoibe, more vanchita. Vanchita is desire, and purana is with an extra syllable, otherwise in Sanskrit, purna, purana, so full desire. Hoibe will become Anande Shevibo, in Ananda, in ecstasy, I will serve. Shevibo. Who will I serve? Donghar, Jugala Charana, the lotus feet of both of the two. Jugala, the two, Donghar, of the two. Or, yeah, Jugala is the couple, we can say. So both of the couple, maybe, Anande Shivibo, Donghar Jugala Charana. I will be able to serve the feet of both of the couple. And finally, Shri Rupa Manjari Saki Kripa Drishtye Chaya Tapi Narottam Shincho Shevamrita Diya. O Shri Rupa Manjari, O friend of the divine couple, please cast your glance of mercy upon me. Kripa Drishtye Chaya. Chaya must be casting. Please sprinkle this distressed Narottam. Okay. Tapi, from the word tap, which means a verbal root, Sanskrit heat, and from which we get tapasya and so on. But also it can mean, because heat can be uncomfortable, too much heat, burning in the fire of material existence. So tapi is one who is burning. And the form here is like yogi. Yogin, yogi. So a tapi is someone who is suffering. And sincha is sprinkle. We have the word abhisheka, and that comes from cinch, which means to sprinkle. And so here he's requesting, please sprinkle this tapi, Narottam, with the nectar amrita of seva. Dayā, give. Nice. Okay. Let's give it a go with some musical accompaniment. Did I click? Not yet. Now it's on. Okay. A little more this way. There. Lokanatha Prabhu Tumi Doya Koro more Radha-Krsna Charane Radha-Krsna Charane yeno sadā citta sphure. You want to play some musical instrument? We have backup here. Lokanatha Prabhu Tumi Doya Koro mora rādhā-Krishna caran yeno sadā citta sphure tomāra sahite thāki sakhīra sahite eto vāsanā mora sadā cite tomāra sahite thāki sakhīra sahite eto vāsanā mora sadā cite sakhīgan jeshta yeno tāhara charane more samarphibe kove sevar carane sakhīgan jeshta yeno tāhara charane mora samarphibe kove sevar carane tabe se hoibe mor vanchita purana anande se vivo tohar jogala charana tabe mora vanchita purana anande se vivo tohar jogala charana Shirupa manjari saki kripa drishte chaya tapi Narottama sincha sevamrita diya Shirupa manjari saki kripa drishte chaya tapi Narottama sincha sevamrita diya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo, Nitya. Srila Narottama Das Thakura ki Jai. Now turn original sound from musicians off. Okay, just heard. So welcome everyone who have just arrived since we started. It's nice to see you all always. Since we're singing Narottama Das Thakur's songs, I thought, well, here we are. We have this very nice book from Shitala Devi, The Glorious Life of Srila Narottama Das Thakur. How do I put it in focus? It's there somewhere. No. And when I do the blur background, then it becomes very... Anyway, there's a book from my god sister, Sitala Devi Dasi. And so I thought, I won't read because I know that's hard to translate, but maybe just a bit of paraphrasing and starting with her introduction. Couple of points. At first, I want to check. Yes, now Russian is there. German is there too. Good. So in her introduction to the book, Sitala Mataji is explaining how it came about that she wrote the book, how she was inspired. And she explains on page Roman numeral 13 that she explains her main reason for writing the book. And what is that? She came to appreciate just how beneficial it is to us, our spiritual development, to learn about our previous acharyas. in our sampradaya. They are our, she says, spiritual predecessors. I should move the screen down, otherwise I'm always looking up and it looks very strange. Okay. They are our spiritual predecessors. They come before us. And she said, as she was researching, reading about Narottama Das Thakur, more and more she was feeling close to him, that he's something, that he is a person with, she says, a relevant and palpable presence. Palpable means like you can touch. Something with tangible substance is palpable. A shelter and an inspiration. She refers to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the attachment for devotees like Narottama is the very root of the tender creeper of divine love. And we all know we want that creeper to grow. If it's going to grow, there has to be a root. If there's going to be a root, what is the root? That is our attachment to the devotees of the Lord, especially these predecessor acharyas. She also quotes Radhanath Swami, who is quoting an American English expression. In bhakti, it's not what you know, but who you know. It's about having connections. And yes, she also refers to Srila Narottama Das Thakur as a true spiritual hero. She says his life is an epic tale, epic story. One of the greatest pioneers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And she also refers to him as a trailblazer. Trailblazer means one who creates a new pathway, a fresh pathway for spreading Krishna consciousness. She refers to Narottama Das Thakur's compassion. He was never giving up his feelings of compassion and wishing to share Krishna Bhakti, despite all the opposition. He had a lot of opposition. Why? Because of his caste. And what was his caste? Well, he was according to one source, he was a kayasta. What is a kayasta? Well, it's not a kshatriya. It's, what is a kayasta? Somewhere between a vaishya and a kshatriya. The kayastas in Bengal typically became secretaries, scribes, clerks. Those are the kayastas. And so they're not counted as Brahmins, and he was criticized because he accepted disciples who were Brahmins. in a caste-conscious culture, such as India has been, especially in his time, Lord Chaitanya's time. Also, even today, there's so much caste consciousness. It was quite a challenge for him. She also says, about Narottama's heroism. We need heroes that teach us to seek out our highest potential as servants of the Supreme Lord. That's nice. Srila Narottama Das Thakur is just such a hero. To seek out our highest potential. There's a lot that's been written in recent times in, well, I guess mainly in psychological area of the human potential movement. It's probably something you can look up on Wikipedia, the human potential movement. The basic idea, of course, being that we all have lots of potential, and why not develop it? Why not cultivate it? Usually that's thought of in fairly mundane terms. But of course, we would understand in spiritual terms. What is human potential? The real potential is to become Krishna conscious, to put it simply. Okay. So then, just very briefly, beginning first couple of pages of chapter 1, it's called Lord Chaitanya's Prediction. And so this is indeed about the prediction, but before that, a verse offering respects to Narottama Das Thakur. It says, Sri Krishna Mamritavarshivaktra Chandra Prabhadvasta Tamobaraya Gauranga Devanucharaya Tasmai Namo Nama Srila Narottamaya. I repeatedly offer my respectful obeisance to Srila Narottama Das Thakur, a pure-hearted servant of Lord Gauranga. From his splendorous moon-like lips, where is it, moon-like lips? Amritavarshivaktra Chandra Prabha. From his splendorous moon-like lips pours a radiant shower of nectar in the form of Krishna's holy name. So, Shri Krishna Nama Amrita Varshi Vaktra Chandra Prabha Dvasta Tamo Varaya. That's all one compound. That dissipates the darkness of ignorance. Tamo Varaya. Tamo Vara. So unto him Varaya. Okay. Then is described that Lord Chaitanya was with his associates having kirtan. They were moving about through the countryside and chanting Hare Krishna. And it was, as kirtans will do, it was the mridanga players were gradually speeding it up. And so it was becoming more intense. And Lord Chaitanya, it says, was raising his arms, which we know were very long. It's described that Lord Chaitanya's arms would reach down to his knees. Now, personally, I always wondered about that because it seems like that would be a strange proportion of body to be reaching to the knees. In any case, he raised them in the air, he didn't put them down to his knees. And then he did what Lord Chaitanya would sometimes do. He starts dancing wildly. All the devotees are dancing wildly. And then what happens? Suddenly, I mean, imagine the scene. They're just all dancing and chanting and mridangas are pounding. And then suddenly Lord Chaitanya stops. And he's completely motionless. And he looks off in the distance. He stares in the distance. And he calls, Narottama, Narottama. His body is trembling. There are tears coming from his eyes, pouring from his eyes. Then he grabs Nityananda Prabhu to help to hold himself up. But it's not enough. He collapses on the ground and he's crying. And he's crying. And what is he crying? Narottama, Narottama. So imagine you're with devotees and Narottama is, nobody knows who is Narottama because Narottama hasn't appeared yet. So everyone's stopping and they're all looking at each other and wondering what's going on. And then they gather around Lord Chaitanya and softly they're chanting to him, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Because they see he's in some kind of trance, some kind of ecstasy, and what to do when the Lord falls into such a state. So they're chanting to him. And then Nityananda Prabhu comes up and bends down on his knees next to Lord Chaitanya, and he's just whispering to him sweet words to try to calm him down. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He doesn't say anything. He just throws his arms around Nityananda Prabhu and continues to cry. So Nityananda he's getting worried. And so he turns to Vakreshvara Pandit and also to Haridas Thakur, and he says, I've never seen him crying like this, shedding such tears. Then Vakreshvara, and you may not know, or you may know, Vakreshvara Pandit is famous for his dancing. In this case, he gets the devotees to chant. But what does he get them to chant? He gets them to chant the name Jagannath. And when Lord Chaitanya hears Jagannath, Jagannath, then Lord Chaitanya becomes back to his so-called normal self, and he sits up, and then he calls over, he motions to Nityananda Prabhu to come closer. And he says to Nityananda, in a whisper, he says, you know that Sankirtan is everything to me. It is my very life. I want everyone in this world to taste the nectar of the holy name. But soon you and I will leave this world. Who will spread this chanting after we are gone? Who will keep the flame of love I have brought into the world burning? Before I leave, I must empower someone to carry on this wonderful Sankirtan movement. I have such a wealth of love of God, and I must leave it with someone. But who is qualified to inherit such riches? So there's a problem. He's saying, we're going to be leaving soon, and then what's going to happen to our Sankirtan movement? So Lord Chaitanya is expressing his concern, his worry. Nityananda Prabhu replies, you know everything. You're the only one who can answer your question. Is there anyone who will be capable to carry on your mission? Who is worthy of inheriting your love? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answers, yes, Nitai, there is someone. His name is Narottama. And we can stop there. We can continue another. That's called a cliffhanger. I should have actually stopped just before that line, but so Narottama Das Thakura ki jai. All right. All right. I have a bit of show and tell. And as is often the case, it's in the form of books. First, we have, did I show this? Oh, I feel like I showed it already, but here it is again. Mountain of Love. It's so hard to get it there. How come it won't? I think I have to turn off this fuzziness. Okay, so let's see, where do we do that? Participants. I forgot how we do that. Video, I think it's with video, no? Yeah, blur background, okay. There we go, all right. Yeah, so I want to express my gratitude to all of you who have contributed to this book. It's really, really nice. I'm grateful also to, to Rasadani Hari for producing the book and for designing the book. Gopi Gita, Ramananda Gopal. Is Gopi Gita there? He's there. No? Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Jai. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance. All close to you. Close to you. Yeah, I can get her in, let's say 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
If you want, or if, I mean.
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you? Okay. I sent my little assistant here.
Your little assistant. Go get Mata. Okay. Yeah, it contains, I don't know exact number, around 56 reflections, I think. That's quite a good number. And lots of pictures, photos from Madai Jivan, who is here in our live audience, and also from, hold on, from, yes, from Ekanti. Ekanti also made photos. So, quite a nice book. Anyway, well, Gopi Gita's coming.
She's here.
She's here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Hare Krishna, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
There it is.
No.
The result of your many, 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 many hours of work.
Beautiful. How do you find it?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for doing all this. It's it really came out so nice. I think it'll be, yeah, I think it'll have some impact gradually, but eventually I think it could have impact beyond our little circle, because I think devotees will appreciate that such writing is possible. So we may see more such books. And I think it could inspire more devotees to visit Govardhan and Vrindavan. And yeah, I haven't read all of the reflections yet, but those I've read, I appreciate very much. Some very thoughtful, devotional, insightful reflections are there. So that's very good. Who is this little gentleman with you?
This is our little Murari, who also
Oh,
appeared
that's Murari.
somewhere in the book and was always very interested when mommy begins to work on a book because it's full concentration.
And when he sees himself in the camera, he makes faces.
Uh-oh.
Now he's shy.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful book to celebrate Giri Govardhan. It's very nice. And
Yeah.
Different disciples with their different ways of expressing themselves. Yeah, it was a wonderful idea you had.
And your Guru Maharaj gave his blessings by speaking some nice words in the beginning, which we transcribed. And Burijan Prabhu also. So both of the founders of the Govardhan Retreat Center.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. You're all welcome, if you don't have a copy yet, to get a copy. So this is my little promotion of the book. And how do we get copies of the book, Rasodani?
Hare Krishna. Well, books are everywhere in Europe, we can say. In one sense, there is also, this is hard copy, of course. There is also on Amazon for those who want in Kindle version.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, and we need distribute, because I thought a little bit after our yesterday meeting that, that it's like, like today in the today's economy, today's world, it's easy to, it's not super easy, but easier to produce something than to sell something. Like China they can do anything, but to sell it's not so easy. So I'm thinking how to focus more on distribution, because it seems that you know, most of the Europe is not English speaking, only
Right.
UK.
Yes.
I even thought because many devotees go from, I mean, not only from here, but from Croatia, they go to India. Maybe we can, you know, they usually go empty, so to say, empty. They have some space. Maybe they can bring some to Mayapur, some to Vrindavan. Maybe we can do some distribution there also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially in Mayapur, we have some God siblings there. And,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, Vrindavan, maybe also to put
Mhm.
And some to Govardhan, to the retreat center. Yeah.
to the retreat center also. Yeah.
Actually, that would be an ideal place, I think, for the book. People are coming to the retreat center, they'll see this book, and they'll realize, oh, this is all about where I am. This is the book I need to take.
Yeah, yeah. These are some things which we need actually. I'm not sure that I can do alone. Maybe we need some group. You know, I'm like not. I'm only. You know, there are several devotees. We are kind of BBT. You know, we are producing, but distribution, Sankirtan is something. You know, it's completely. So we need also this. I can be part of that, but cannot do it alone.
Right.
So
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get into organizing, distributing these books, please let us know.
Yeah.
Let Rasundari Hari know. Good. Okay. So I'm going to now shift to a little different show and tell. And because I've been traveling the last 3.5 months or something, the post sent to me here has accumulated. So I have 3 books to show, in which I have an article included. So one of them is this Vaishnav Concepts of God, Philosophical Perspectives. This is in the Routledge Hindu Studies series. So it's an academic book. And this was edited, it was put together by 2 devotee scholars, one in Brazil, Ramcharita, and one in London, Aishwarya Prabhu, and a third person, a scholar whom I don't know. In any case, the 3 of them together brought together altogether 13, 14, 15 scholars, I think, 13 articles. And my article is co-authored with another devotee who is working on his doctoral dissertation at the University of Birmingham in the UK. Very nice young scholar and very sharp. He's a real philosopher. So we wrote an article called The God of Yoga, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Divine Pedagogy, Addressing Divine Hiddenness. This is a kind of dense article, well, the whole book is philosophical. The idea of the book is to bring to the awareness of scholars in the philosophy of religion to bring to their awareness that there are Vaishnava philosophies of religion. And within that field, there are concepts of God. We have not just so many feelings and emotions, we also have concepts. And those have been articulated by our acharyas. But how to explain these things systematically for a Western scholarly audience, that's the challenge. So there are many articles. There are actually two by, no, there's a few by devotees. The Concept of God in the Bhagavad Gita, a panentheistic account. This is by two of the editors of the book. And then Edwin Bryant, also known as Advaita Prabhu, Beauty and Form as a Corollary of a Perfect Being, Krishna in the Bhagavata Purana. Then we have an article by our academic director of our center in Oxford, Gavin Flood, The Nature of God in the Pancharatra, with specific reference to the Jayakya Samhita. Now, most of you may not have heard of the Jayakya Samhita, but it is one of the Pancharatra texts, which he has been studying for a long time. Anyway, I won't go through all of them. There's articles also about Sri Vaishnava traditions. There's also an article about Sri Rama-Krishna, which I haven't read yet. I met the author. He's a very bright scholar who is a Swami in the Ramakrishna mission. Very charming person. His article is called Harmonizing the Personal God with the Impersonal Brahman, Sri Ramakrishna's Vijnana Vedanta in dialogue with Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So that could be interesting. Could be interesting. Another book in which I have a very short article is this one called Animals and Religion. It's written, or it's the editors are professors in, I forget which university, in Texas, in the USA. And they contacted me and asked, could I make a contribution, because one of them had read my book, Cow Care in Hindu Animal Ethics. So I agreed, and they asked for a short article, which we gave the title. The title is Cow Care in Hindu Animal Ethics. But it's a very good collection, and the purpose of this book is specifically for students. The idea is to introduce them to the intersection between thinking about religion, reflecting about religion in relation to animals, and animals in relation to religion. Their dedication page, I think, is very charming. It says here, to all the animals, finned, feathered, furred, scaled, or otherwise, whom we have known and loved for a moment or a lifetime, and to all the others too, especially those who have endured suffering due to human action or inaction. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be at peace. So that's, I think it's nice that such work is done. There's so many scholars who have thought deeply about this subject, and they're taking it in many different valuable directions. And I'm not done yet. One more book came. It's called Hindu Diasporas. Some of you may not know the word diaspora. It means the communities spread around the world of so-called Hindus. This is edited by Knut Jacobsen. He's a professor in Norway, and he's been studying Hinduism since decades. And he asked me could I write an article on ISKCON and the Hindu diaspora? And so I did. My article is called ISKCON and Diaspora Hindus in a Shared Cultural Atmosphere. And mine is the very last article in the book, which I'm taking as a position of honor, because if somebody gets through the whole book and then reads my article, they will be left remembering about Krishna. Also, the very last article in the book on Vaishnava concepts of God is from me. And I was the very last presenter at the Dubrovnik conference last August. And I was the very last presenter at the Dubrovnik conference some years back. So there's something about being last. That's, I think, a good thing. Okay, that's my show and tell. Who else? Anybody else? Any news? Any news? Any views? Any issues? Any news? Any views? Any issues? If not, maybe we should go with Tia's question. Tia, we talked a couple of days ago, and she had a question. Do you want to share your question, Tia?
Sure. So I was listening to Satchidananda Maharaj's lecture series from his program or festival over the new year, Golokadam. It's a 2-part lecture series on the coronation of Radharani, Srimati Radharani. And there was a part of the lecture that I didn't really understand how to use it to apply it in my life, or how we could all use it to apply it. And it's basically at the end of the coronation, I think it was Sridham approached Radharani. Radharani was so pleased and said, I'm probably gonna be nervous and not remember the story totally properly, but she said, I'll give you, I'm so pleased, I'll give you, whatever you wish. And his reply was, I want what is most dear to you. And so she turned to Krishna, and Sri Ram ran and hugged Krishna. So it was almost as if Radharani was kind of sad to give Krishna away, because it was the thing that was most dear to her, and she was giving it away. And then Krishna was a little bit disappointed because he thought, oh, I planned this whole coronation for Radharani. And immediately she's just giving
What
me.
does she do? She's giving me away.
Exactly. And I was wondering how this story would inform how we approach Srimati Radharani asking for devotional service.
Because if we ask Srimati Radharani for devotional service, she might say, well, I already gave Krishna away, so so you'll have to ask somebody else. You have to ask Sridham.
No, sort of if you ask someone for something that's most dear to them, it's almost the story almost made it seem like Srimati Radharani was a little bit sad, or for like a little bit not disappointed, but a little bit forlorn about having to give away the thing that was most dear to her. And then it almost makes me hesitant. Why should we be asked, or why should I be asking, for the thing that is most dear to Srimati Radharani? I wouldn't want to take as if I could ever take, but I don't know if I'm making my question clear. Almost seems like, why would we ask for something that's most dear to somebody and make them sad?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things come to my mind. One is as Leela, it's a kind of way of showing how the relationship of Radha and Krishna is sweet, but there's a bitter sweetness also, which makes it kind of have a sense of depth. We know that Radharani giving away Krishna doesn't mean that now Krishna has nothing to do with Radharani, right? We know that Radha and Krishna are always together, even when they're separated. But it's kind of this story just brings in so much irony to the whole thing, that this kind of bottom line result is, I think, a depth, a richness that is also showing something of the complexity of relationships, because Sridham coming and then to Radharani, and then Radharani sort of, she's very in so much joyfulness, but it's I think it's also described when Krishna is born. Vasudev, his father, is so happy that what does he do? He gives away mentally, because he can't physically. Mentally, he gives away so many cows. So there's this idea that when there's some event of special happiness, you just want to open up and share that happiness with everyone. And in this case, Radharani is saying, come on, Sridham, who is his brother, her brother, right? I'll give you whatever you want. And Sridham, who is the brother, and what do brothers, I don't know, is he younger or older? but siblings have a way of teasing each other, right? And so he kind of takes advantage and says, ah, yeah, so you're in this mood to give. Well, I'm going to ask for something. I want whatever is most dear to you. And because the Vedic etiquette is when you give your word, you keep your word. So she said, I'll give you what you want. He says, give me what's dearest to you. Now she has to give what's dearest. What is that? Well, it has to be Krishna. But, you know, what does that mean? What's Sridham going to do with Krishna? He's not going to marry Krishna, right? So, so there's kind of twists and turns of irony mixed in with the notion of dharma, and all of this mixed in with the bhava of prema. And your question is what to do with all of this, what to make of this for ourselves. Well, just go on approaching Radharani. Don't worry that you're not asking, you're not asking Srimati Radharani to give away Krishna such that she no longer has Krishna, right? And in any case, the devotees are approaching Radha to serve Radha. That's the mood that's emphasized by, well, it seems to be what the Goswamis are emphasizing, the Manjari Bhava, Manjari Seva is, we just want to assist Radharani. Forget about Krishna. Krishna, we don't want to approach Krishna directly. And then, of course, we understand Radharani is so soft-hearted, she will she will call Krishna's attention to devotees who are serving her. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Yes. Thank you,
Some
Mara.
sense. Do you want to know who is Radharani's paternal grandfather?
Yes.
I just came across this. His name is Mahibanu. And her paternal grandmother is Sukada, and her maternal grandfather is Indu, and her maternal grandmother is Mukara. There's a village near Govardhan, which is the place of Mukara. Oh, here it is. Sri Dhamma is the older brother of Radhikarani. And she has a younger sister. Who is the younger sister? Who knows who is the younger sister of
Ananga Manjari.
Ananga Manjari? Exactly. Who may have another name, namely Anuradha. Now, while we're on this subject, someone was asking, who was asking about the meaning of the marks on the lotus feet of the Lord. I think it was 2 weeks ago, someone was asking. So we have it all here. There's lots of marks, and some of them are the same on Krishna's and Radha's feet. These include the conch, the fish, the flag, the lotus, the goad, ankusha, barley corn, yava, up-curving line, urdhvareka, the disc, the chakra, and the umbrella, the chhatra. Now, we might want to know what is the significance of the conch. According to, there are several sources referred to here. Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarartha Darshini of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Ananda Chandrika, which is Vishwanath's Tika commentary on Govinda Lilamrita. And also his Rupa Chintamani, and also Jiva Goswami's Sri Karapada Yugala Samahriti. That's Jiva Goswami wrote that. Karapada, so the hands and the feet. Yugala Samahriti, the gathering together about this. Also, Skanda Purana, Matsya Purana, and Garga Samhita, and numerous other quotes and compilations. Whew. Okay, we can look at just one of these, the Kanch, the Shanka. Okay, first point. This auspicious mark indicates that those who take shelter of their lotus feet are always rescued from all sorts of distress. So we famously, Krishna is blowing his conch, and Arjuna, and they're all blowing their conches at the beginning of the Battle of Kurukshetra. And when they blow their conches, it's very powerful, and everyone is shaking and understanding that they are victorious. Then a comparison is made. There's the water in the conch that's offered in arti after the fire, the lamp. So it says, their lordship's feet hold transcendental water that soothes their devotees from the blazing fire of material existence. Okay, so we have the conch is indicating that the devotee is rescued from all sorts of distress, and the fire of material existence is put out by the water held in the conch. Also, the symbol proclaims ultimate victory for the devotees. Why? Because the mark of the conch on the lotus feet of the Lord's contains the entire ocean of material existence that may now be easily crossed. This mark also shows those who resort to their feet become completely fearless., and it's also, a symbol of Jala Tattva. Jala means water, the principle of water, which points to the idea that the Ganga is emanating from the feet of Krishna, and that Ganga is purifying the entire world, or all the worlds. What about this mark on Radha's foot? It shows the water principle that soothes her beloved Krishna, so that he feels no burning pain whenever he is separated from her company. So that's the conch. The conch is, where is the conch? On Krishna, it's on his left foot, below his big toe. And on Srimati Radharani, it's below the big toe of her right foot. So there you go. You can meditate on the conch on the feet of Radha and Krishna and remember all these results. Dira Lalita, your hand is up.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, God family. This question may come across a little bit maybe immature or childish, but I really I'm interested in the answer. So we are learning that the essence of life is to connect to the eternal, to connect to Krishna, and that through devotional service and mercy, acharyas and advanced Vaishnavas. But I was wondering, does Krishna as a person get like sad when people don't accept Krishna consciousness and chanting of the holy name? Like I was imagining, like Lord Chaitanya and Lord Thakur, trying to actually going from door to door and asking, begging people to chant the holy name, because they know that's the essence, and that's the like salvation for all the souls that are there in this material world. But some would like, you know, try to accept the holy name but chant with offenses, or not knowing how to chant it properly with a pure heart. I was just wondering, because Krishna is not different than his name. Do I understand that the Nam has form of Krishna? And does Krishna really get that sad emotion or sadness by seeing all people in order to connect to him really on that deep level? Or it's just like I was just wondering about that. So just to help me, maybe if I know that Krishna is going to be really sad, or you know, so that may help me to be more like sincere and more like there for Krishna. I'll give space to Krishna to be there in my life through the holy name. Is the name, or is the holy name in between us and Krishna? I know it's Krishna, but I don't really understand it.
Sometimes it's said that because Krishna is absorbed in his internal energy, which is, you know, consisting of Hladini Shakti, Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, there's no touch, no experience of suffering. But then we just read how, I guess it's in the Narottama Vilas or the Prema Vilas, that description of Lord Chaitanya anticipating Narottama's appearance. So that description would indicate that the Lord is very much concerned, so much so that he's expressing great anxiety. So it's, I think, one of those paradoxes. I believe it's in the one of the Sandarbhas. I always tell myself I have to actually study the Sandarbhas, Jiva Goswami. That the Lord is transcendental, means that he's not affected by anything of this world. But at the same time, we understand the Lord is the original sentient being, and all of his senses, including the mind, are infused with feeling. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimati pasyanti panti kalayanti chiranjaganti ananda chinmaya sadujvala vigra. But ananda chinmaya, his very existence is ananda. So if there is a sadness about the non-acceptance, or as I've explained in this article in the Vaishnava Concepts of God, that people are resistant to the existence of God. That is, I think we have to see that still in the context of eternity, where there's anticipation that all living beings eventually will surrender, will take shelter of the Lord. So it can be a sadness. It can also be anger. It's mentioned in 5th canto, isn't it? That Sankarshan becomes angry. Ananta Shesha. We read that some weeks ago. Ananta Shesha becomes angry that the living entities are resisting surrender. And therefore, what does he do? He burns up the whole thing. So whether it's sadness or anger or whatever it is, there's feeling, there's emotion, there's not indifference. So I think that's really the point. And we could also say that much of what our task is for ourselves in becoming Krishna conscious is becoming conscious of the indicators, the many ways that Krishna is sending messages to say, come on, come on, come on.
Thank you very much for
I'm
your-
sure there's a lot more can be said about this, but that's what comes to my mind.
Thank you very much, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. We have a few minutes left. Shall we read some Chaitanya Charitamrita? let's do that. Screen share. Oh. Is that the same as that? Okay. Can everyone see this screen with chapter 14, Adi Lila? Can you see?
Yes, Gurudev.
Oh, it just disappeared halfway. Come back. There. All right. So, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, we were reading about the Lord's, speaking of Lord's lotus feet, and the various features of the baby Krishna, baby Chaitanya, baby Nimai. So then they call in, Father calls in Nilambar Chakravarti, who says, yep, this is no ordinary child. And he says, let's do a name-giving ceremony. And they call the Brahmins. And then he announces, in the future, this child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he is to be called Vishvambar. So then they had this rituals of the Namkarana. Okay, let's go from here. Tobe kotta dine prabhur janu chankramana. Nana chamotkar tota korailo darshana. After some days, the Lord began to crawl on his knees, and he caused various wonderful things to happen. And he causes the ladies to chant the holy names because he chants, because he's crying. And he exhibits various sports. Shishugone. So now he's socializing. He's socializing with other kids. Shishugone mili koila vivida kelana. Vivida means various. Kelana, sports. Sporting. Okay, now comes this famous little childhood pastime. Ekodina shachikai shandesha aniya bhatabari diyabaila kauta bashia. One day, while the Lord was enjoying his playful sports with the other little children, Mother Sachi brought a dish filled with fused rice. It's called fused rice. And sweetmeats. English word sweetmeats is strange because it sounds like meat, but it's not. It's just sweet, sandesh. And asked the child to sit down and eat them. The word bata is there. It says tiffin dish. That's a little bit old-fashioned. In India, tiffin is this container there's usually 3 containers stacked on top of each other. That's a tiffin. And tiffin is also used to refer to lunch. Have you had tiffin yet? Tiffin. So tiffin dish means, I guess, lunch. And that would consist of, in this case, kai, fused rice. So what happens then? Now the trouble starts. At Tabali, Gela, Shachigrihe karma karite, Lukanya, Lagila Shishu Mritika Kaite. Oh. So Lukanya, hiding, he began, Lagila, to eat dirt, Mritika. Takishachi danya, Aila kari, hi, mati kari, laya kahe, mati kene kai. Seeing this, Mother Shachi hastily returned and exclaimed, "What is this? What is this?" She snatched the dirt from the hands of the Lord and inquired why he was eating it. So mati karya. She grabbed the dirt. And then she asks, Mati Kanekai, why are you eating dirt? Crying, the child inquired from his mother, why are you angry? Kane Koro rosh? Tumi mati kaite delay? More kiba dosh? You've already given me dirt to eat. What is my fault? Hai sandesh anno jotek matir bikar. Ehomati shehomati ki beda bichar. So now Lord Chaitanya Nimai is sounding like a Mayavadi. Fused rice, sweetmeats, and all other edibles are but transformations of dirt, matir bikar. This is dirt, that is dirt. Ehomati, shehomati. Please consider. Vichar is consider. What is the difference between them? Bheda. So we know the word, the term achintya bheda abheda. Achintya bheda abheda vada is our philosophy. Our Vedanta is kind of the core of it, you could say, is this achintya bheda abheda. So bheda means difference, abheda means no difference. Achintya abheda is the inconceivable difference and non-difference of all variety with the one absolute. So here, little Nimai is emphasizing the non-difference. And so he's saying, you've given me, you already gave me some dirt. Okay, it was in the form of sandesh, but essentially, what was it? You could say it's kind of alluding to the Chandogya Upanishad, the famous discussion about clay and clay pots. That just as all clay pots are made of the same substance, so all of everything is made of the same substance, which is Brahman. So like that, he's arguing. And then he goes on to say, Mati deha, mati bakha, dekaha vichari, abhichare deha dosh, ki bolite pari. This body is a transformation of dirt, and the edibles are also a transformation of dirt. Please reflect upon this. Dekaha vichari, vicharya. Mm. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say? What can I say? Ki bolite pari? What can I say? Abhichare dehadosh. You're criticizing me without thinking about it. So Prabhupada is giving a longer explanation here of how this is basically Mayavada. Everything is taken to be one. Mm. Oh, but it's interesting how he's putting it. When one is elevated to the spiritual platform, there are no more bodily necessities. And in activities pertaining to the bodily necessities, there are no spiritual considerations. Okay. In other words, the more we eat, sleep, have sex, and try to defend ourselves, the more we engage in material activities. Okay, and here's the point. Mayavadi philosophers consider devotional activities to be bodily activities. So, of course, devotional activities involve doing so many things with our bodies. If we're worshiping the deity, this morning, just before I woke up, I had one of these somewhat recurring dreams where there's some sort of problem I'm trying to I'm trying to worship some deity and there's some problem. And so I'm usually in the dream, I'm coming late or something is happening. And this was mixed up this morning with another recurring thing. I wonder if maybe you have this experience when you actually have to go to the bathroom to pass water, but you're dreaming, and in your dream, you ever had this? In your dream, you're looking for a bathroom, and you can't find the bathroom. You have this ever? You're so I was in this dream, and in the dream, there was some kind of like a deity installation of sorts. And at one point I said, excuse me, I have to go and I'll come right back. But I didn't come right back because it took me an hour to find a place. And then when I finally came back, I don't know, everything was strange. Then I woke up. Then I realized, oh, I have to get up and go to the bathroom. All right, enough of these things. So the Mayavadis cannot understand the simple explanation in Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaityan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Anyone who engages in spiritual devotional service without motivation, rendering such service for the satisfaction of the Lord, is elevated immediately to the spiritual platform, and all his activities are spiritual. Yeah, so there's vyabhichara and there's avyabhichara. yoga. So avyabhichara yoga means, well, it means fully dedicated. Let's see what O'Neill Williams has to say about that. See if he has it. Avyabhichara. Oh, yeah. So non-failure, absolute necessity, non-deviation, conjugal fidelity, non-transgression, constant. So vyabhichar is the opposite of that. Whoops, what happened? Forget it. So non-deviation is avyabhichara. And what other words? Samati iti etan. No. How is that divided up? Oh, I don't know. Ati etan. Excuse me, I'm just curious. Uh, 14, right? 1426. Mm-hmm. 14. '26. Samatitya etan. The etan, I guess, refers to persons. Oh, no, sorry. It refers, because this is chapters about the modes of nature. So etan, plural, accusative, is referring to the modes of nature. Gunan, etan gunan. So sa samatitya, having gone beyond. That must be a gerund. Then Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate becomes on the platform of Brahman. This word Bhuya is also strange. Bhuya, but it's Bhuyaya. Let's see what this has. Becoming. Okay, so it's from the verbal root bhu. Bhuyaya. Not quite sure of the form. Bhuya can mean still more. Anyway, becoming. Good enough for us. So, in case you meet a Mayavadi, in case you meet a Mayavadi, you can quote this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Divyambara, you have your hand up.
Jai Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad to everyone. I just met a bunch of Mayavadis, so I wanted to share my confusion, my initial confusion first. I was at the Bahamas, the Shivananda Yoga Ashram in the Bahamas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had a great experience. They were very nice and friendly. There are many devotees.
Nice, friendly Mayavadis, huh?
Yeah, they were so welcoming and very, very nice on human level. I offered 4 presentations, and it was so confusing because as soon as we arrived, I was there with Shruti Rupa Devi, Prabhupada disciple, Prabhupada's cook.
Mm-hmm.
And there were pictures of Krishna everywhere. And they had like 3 altars in 3 different temples. And they had a deity of Krishna there as well, among many other deities. And one thing that I noticed, and they would offer arati every day and have something like an arati song. But what I noticed is that the deity worship, like the deities were very simply dressed, like basically like a little cloth as a dhoti just wrapped around. And there was no changing. The deity worship that we do is way beyond. It was so I was just surprised that they worship the deity, but they don't take care of the deity, so to say. And then they chant the Mahamantra the other way around: Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So they chant it all the time, and people love the kirtan. So yes, I think it can be confusing sometimes for us to meet and to be in an environment of people practicing Mayavada philosophy or accepting Mayavada philosophy, and at the same time being surrounded by images of Krishna and having kirtan.
Yeah. Well, I think this is why Srila Prabhupada was so concerned to make this distinction, to sort of hammer it into us that yes, someone may do all these things, but they're still Mayavadi. Why is that? Well, because at the end of the day, their idea is to somehow go beyond Krishna. Their idea is that bhakti is a great thing that's instrumental. It's a means to another end than bhakti. For the bhakta, there's the means of bhakti. It's also a means, but it's a means for what? It's a means for more bhakti. And for the Mayavadi, the idea is it's a great way to purify yourself and to go beyond the modes of nature, yes. And then we can go into the great Brahman. So that's we want to keep that distinction and not become I mean, I don't think you were confused because you saw how their worship was not very, actually didn't seem very devotional, right? It was just...
Yeah, it wasn't personal for sure.
Yeah.
Like I noticed they had a big deity, even on stage, the central picture was a beautiful painting of Krishna. And then they had a large deity. I don't know how often so I noticed somebody was cleaning the floor and wiping the altar and the deities and then using the same cloth for cleaning the floor. I mean, like these little details. And there was a deity of Krishna with some flowers on the head, and some of it was just completely covering his face, like on this side. And I just went up and I put it because it was, it was like half of his face was covered, like the eye and everything. So somehow nobody noticed that. But Guru Maharaj, what I learned, the inspiration is that they have a wonderful way of building community. And people just love, it's not a very, many people stay in tents, and it's kind of a yogic, austere accommodation. But the community, people just go there to be together. The community, they're really expert at building community and having really nice personal relationships. And several people came up to me because I had tilak. I was like a devotee, Krishna devotee from the very start. I wasn't hiding anything. And several people came up to me to say that they first joined an ISKCON ashram, like a Hare Krishna ashram. And then that was their starting point. And then they joined Shivananda and stayed there. So I was like, I wonder why. So that was...
it is. It's an interesting phenomenon. On the one side, the philosophy is Mayavad, and on the other side, they can actually be very personal. Sridhar Maharaj, I remember years ago, was saying he visited a yoga ashram in New York. Maybe it was the Shivananda people. And he said he was blown away by how personal they were. So much more than the devotees. It could be also a problem that in our sort of imagining ourselves to be personalist, we can easily fall into making that a kind of excuse for behaving in a less than personal way. In other words, we think, well, we've got the philosophy down, and so therefore we don't have to worry too much about actually, relating with each other as person. That might be part of the logic. I don't know.
It's an interesting topic to explore more.
Indeed. Well, otherwise, you had a good time there?
Yes, it was very nice. We chanted on the beach every day and bathed in the ocean. And I met quite a few people who came to me. They were very interested in what I was talking. I spoke a lot about prasadam. So
yeah. I'm sure
they also offer their food. They offer their food by chanting Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, and very enthusiastically.
Oh, yeah. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, Brahmana, Uttam, Brahmaiva, Tena. What is it? Brahmaiva, Tena, Kantavyam, Brahma Karmas, Samadhina, or something. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've consciously or unconsciously, I'm sure you positively affected all of them by your presence.
Well, by your grace, Guru Maharaj.
Good. Okay. I think it's kind of that time now that we end for the day. As far as I know, we should be able to have a Sanga again next Saturday. So we will see you all then, and we'll wish you all a wonderful week with all kinds of devotional inspiration and lots of chanting and being happy and all such good things. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you all soon. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Guru.
Good afternoon, Guru Maharaj.
And all
Jai Guru Maharaj.
God sisters
Hare
as well.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna family.